Hello everyone, it's Dima here, and today we're going to talk about something truly amazing, the religion of Bali, which has somehow managed to preserve itself in almost pristine form for 1,000 years, despite all modern challenges and globalization. You know, during our 4 years of living on the island, I never ceased to be amazed at how harmoniously ancient traditions blend with modernity here. And today, I'll tell you how the Balinese managed to preserve their cultural values, and what we can learn from them while living in a constant hustle and chase for novelty. To understand Balinese religion, we need to go back in time. The origins of Balinese beliefs are rooted in ancient times when Indian merchants and missionaries brought Hinduism and Buddhism to the island. At that time, the local population already had their shamanic and animistic customs. This led to a unique blend of religions and beliefs that developed over many hundreds of years. The main religion on Bali is called Agama Hindu Dharma. It's a unique form of Hinduism that exists only on Bali and nowhere else in the world. Can you imagine? When we first moved here from Thailand, where we lived for 4 years, I was amazed at how different the religion here is from the Hinduism we're familiar with. Once we met a local resident, and I asked him about these differences. Here's what he told me. Indian Hindu and Balinese Hindu are different. Our ceremonies differ, how we pray differs, but the names of the main gods are very similar, even the same. However, we have our unique gods like Arandon, Barong. This is only our thing. I think there's nothing like this in India, only on Bali. Unlike traditional Indian Hinduism, the Balinese version has preserved many elements of local animism and spiritual practices. Gods here are worshipped as representatives of nature, and the spirit world is closely connected with the everyday life of Balinese people. By the way, many people ask how to legally live on Bali for an extended period. Planning a trip or move to Bali? Let Visa Pro Indonesia, the island's top legal visa agency, handle it for you. With an office right in Ubud and some of the best prices on all types of visas, they've got you covered. Right now, the most popular option is the E33G visa, valid for 1 full year with no visa runs required. They're also a licensed consulting agency, helping you legally set up a business in Indonesia, with full support and ongoing consultations. Use our promo code for exclusive discounts on any visa or company registration. Link in the description. Now, let's get back to our topic. One of the key principles of Balinese religion is the concept of Trihita Karana, harmony between people, nature, and gods. This teaching permeates all life on Bali. People believe that success in life depends on maintaining a balance between these 3 elements: the divine, the human, and the natural. Every day on Bali begins with rituals and offerings. Small baskets with flowers, rice, and incense can be seen everywhere, near houses, on streets, at intersections, in shops, absolutely everywhere. These are Thanksgiving offerings to gods and ancestral spirits. When Nastya and I, with our twin daughters Liana and Taya, first moved to Bali, we were simply amazed by the number of these offerings. The girls initially thought they were some kind of toys and tried to touch them. We had to explain that this is an important part of the local religion and they shouldn't touch them. Any significant event in the Balinese life is necessarily accompanied by a ceremony. Opening an establishment, shop, cafe, any business is necessarily accompanied by a ceremony. If you're a foreign visitor and don't hold a ceremony after opening any establishment or business, the Balinese simply won't work there. It's ingrained in their mentality that the place isn't cleansed of evil spirits, and evil spirits aren't appeased, and good gods aren't appeased, so something bad will happen to this place. I remember how Nastya and I once decided to order a birthday cake for our Balinese nanny. Her first move was to take a piece of that cake as an offering to her family temple, and only then did she celebrate with us. There are so many offerings on Bali that in a day across the island, they could easily amount to several dozen tons, and someone has to produce them. That's why selling religious paraphernalia is a very common and profitable business on the island. And how much money do Balinese spend on offerings and ceremonies? I was shocked when I found out that they can spend up to 40% of their monthly income on religious rituals. Can you imagine? Once I asked our Balinese acquaintance, "How much do you spend on ceremonies?" She answered, "It varies. Always different. If there's more money, you can always spend more and buy more expensive decorations. If there's no money, I buy just a little bit, the simplest. The main thing is to do it from the heart, you understand?" And then she added something amazing. "Even when we're so poor and we don't know where to get money for a ceremony, when it's time to prepare for this ceremony, some kind of magic happens. Money just appears. Someone will offer you work or just give you money. It's real magic. You see, God doesn't need more than you can give. How much you can give, you give. You understand, everything must come from the heart, from the heart." The life cycle of a Balinese is closely connected with religious rites. In the 7th month of pregnancy, a big ceremony is held for the child. When the child is born, another ceremony. When the child turns 3 months, 6 months, a year, more ceremonies. And when Balinese become teenagers, an important tooth filing ceremony, matata, is performed. This means they file off all negativity from the tips of their teeth. Religious rituals on Bali are not limited to daily morning ceremonies. There are so many ceremonies that it would take more than 3 hours to list them all. By the way, those who run businesses on Bali face a number of difficulties because Balinese employees can ask for time off 2 to 3 times a week for ceremonies, and you have no right to refuse them. Each ceremony is necessarily accompanied by a traditional musical orchestra called gamelan. They have their own unique musical architecture with unusual rhythms. They learn these compositions by heart. It's simply phenomenal. When a ceremony takes place on Bali, everything else in the world takes a back seat. A road of any importance is blocked if a procession needs to cross it. Once our family found ourselves in such a situation, we were driving with the girls from their Balu Kids kindergarten in Ubud, and suddenly the road was blocked for a ceremonial procession. We had to wait about an hour, but locals take this absolutely calmly, and our twins were delighted by the colorful spectacle. The most important events are the major ceremonies. For example, the Melasti ceremony, purification before Nyepi, before the Day of Silence. It's usually conducted on ocean shores. Balinese bring sacred relics from their temples to the sea to cleanse them of negative energy. It's believed that seawater has spiritual power capable of washing away all sins and negativity. After Melasti comes Nyepi, the Day of Silence. This is the Balinese New Year according to the Saka Hindu calendar. On this day, all activity on the island ceases. All residents, including tourists, must stay home and not make noise. Travel, work, entertainment, even electricity and fire are forbidden. During our first year on Bali, we eagerly awaited Nyepi. Nastya prepared a food supply. We stocked up on candles and board games for the children. Liana and Taya at first couldn't understand why we had to sit at home in complete silence, but then it turned into an exciting adventure for them. We whispered, played quiet games, watched the stars through the window. It was an amazing experience of family unity. Another important event is Galungan, which is held every 210 days. Balinese believe that during Galungan, ancestral spirits descend to earth to visit their families. Penjors, tall, curved bamboo poles decorated with plants and ornaments, are installed throughout the island. The penjor symbolizes gratitude to the gods for harvest, fertility, and prosperity. Galungan is celebrated for 10 days and ends with the Kuningan ceremony, when ancestral spirits return to their realm. Every home on Bali must have its own temple. If you have a house and family, you are obligated to build a temple as part of your home. If you don't have much money, you can build a small, modest one. but it must be there. Some Balinese who don't have free land make a temple on the second or third floor. All this gives the island a unique appearance. When you drive through a village, it seems like you're traveling through a giant museum because temples are found literally at every step. Besides gods, spirits play an important role in Balinese religion. Balinese believe that the world is inhabited by both good and evil spirits. There are many rituals and practices for communicating with them. One of our Balinese acquaintances told us that they are very afraid of black magic and must always be careful. But if a person falls ill, they first go to a doctor, and only if the doctor can't determine the cause of the illness do they then turn to a shaman to check if there's an effect of black magic. For our family, life among such deep religiosity was a new experience. We try to respect the beliefs of locals, even if we don't always understand them. Liana and Taya, who are growing up here, perceive local ceremonies as something completely natural. For them, it's part of everyday life. But can a person renounce religion? When I asked a Balinese woman about this, she replied, "Yes, it's possible. Just do everything from the heart. If you don't believe, what's there to talk about? Just do what you believe in." And I asked if society would pressure such a person, and she answered, "No, it's all fine. If you want to choose another religion, whether it's Islam, Christianity, what questions could there be? Go ahead, no problem." This surprised me. I thought that in such a traditional society there would be strong pressure on those who want to abandon traditions. But apparently, even here there's room for personal choice. Although the vast majority of locals don't even think about abandoning their religion, it's a natural part of their lives. This is what the religion of Bali is like. Colorful, all-encompassing, permeating every aspect of life. And it's precisely because it's so deeply integrated into everyday life that these traditions have been preserved for 1,000 years. Have you ever thought about how important traditions can be preserved in our modern life? Share in the comments which traditions you think are important to preserve and how you do it. Thank you for your attention. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and be sure to write in the comments what topic about Bali you'd like to hear in the next video. See you soon.